So today we are going to continue the flows. So we understood so far what are the each options in the flows and what are their rules. We understood and we completed one example. Whatever we have implemented in the workflow, we did it in the using the flows, which is sending an email to the hiring manager as soon as the hiring manager record gets created. Right, so let's go with the another example today. So just simple, straightforward example. So as soon as anybody log into the Salesforce, the first thing we will see is Home tab. On the Home tab, we will right now what is happening in Home tab, we are seeing the quarterly performance, today's event, today's task, recent records, some deals, recent opportunity deals, and assistant. Okay, so we have this kind of information which is available on the home page. What do we wanted to give here? Another option is welcome message. Welcome message saying that good morning or good afternoon. So adding some dynamic messages and adding some images. We'll say as soon as somebody logs in, it says with the image, good morning. Let's see how can we implement using the Lightning flow. Scenario is whenever somebody comes into the service app on the home tab, here there is a which going to say welcome to the service app, and will display the dynamic message and along with the images. Okay, so now let me go ahead and implement new flow. So which one do we have to go with that based on our
Screen
business?
flow. Screen flow.
Screen flow. Let's go ahead, create. Now for now, I'll go with the free form. Okay. Now right now, let me drag and drop the screen flow. In the screen flow, as soon as we open, the first thing we see is flow label. So label name we have to give. Let's say home screen. Okay. So that's the home screen. And this is in case if you do not want to see the header. So this is the header, this is the body, and this is the footer. Header, body, footer. Now, in case if you wanted to remove the header, you can remove the header. Okay. And inside this body, right now, this is simple, straightforward. Okay, let's add the header here in case if you wanted to change. Footer, in case if you wanted to change anything, you can change it. Use the standard label, hide the next or finish button. Use the standard label, hide the previous button. Pause button if you wanted to hide the pause button. Pause confirmation message. Use the custom message in case if you wanted to use the pause confirmation message. So in real time, we do not use the hide. We do not use the pause, because I never seen a flow which is pausing in between when the transaction is going on. So I never saw the pause button. We never used it actually. So let's go ahead and hide it. Now done. What I did, I just gave a name to the screen. I just gave the name to the screen. Now let me go ahead and link this. Now, as soon as you are done adding the one component or any changes onto the flow builder, first of all, let's go ahead and save this flow. So let's say home screen, and you can give this is the welcome message on home screen in service app. In service app. Let's click on save. Okay. Now, it's always the best practice whether you add one component, any changes before you activating the flow, always do the debug. If debug fails, do not activate it because that doesn't make any sense. If the debug is perfectly executing, then only activate the flow. Now click on a debug. Right now what happens? It doesn't give me anything because right now I do not have any information, either it is showing or displaying it, right? So this is a standard pop-up box. During the debug flow, it asks the debug options, input variable. Right now, I do not have any input variable and not flow does not ask any input variable. So that's the reason it is not showing the any input variable. Debug options are if you wanted to run the latest version of each flow called by the sub flow. In case if there are any subflows or anything is there, if you wanted to execute it, by default, put this as a checkbox. It doesn't harm anything. And this also by default, put this as a checkbox to show the details of what's executed and rendered flow in the Lightning runtime. So put this default true. And this run a flow as another user. In case if you are executing the trigger or something, you are running the flow, debug flow for the trigger or auto launched or anything, and you have logged in as another user, not a system admin user. For example, you logged in as a standard user or you logged in as a community portal and you wanted to debug the flow. When you wanted to debug the flow, as a system admin, check this and call the system admin here. When you check it, it will give an option here about the lookup to the user. So you have to choose the user details here. Now click on run. Right now there is nothing. It's just a home screen and finish button. That's it. I do not have any other information. How the interview started. This is the user who started the interview. And it started with the flow 55 transaction committed. Any record that is flow was ready to create, update or delete were committed to the database, right? So there is nothing, we have not done anything. This is just a dummy. Now let me go ahead and show more here. In the screen, we wanted to see a display message, right? When we wanted to see the display message, now here we have a different components. Here we have a different components. Like input is address, call script or different thing. Total 37 inputs are there. Right. So right now our requirement is to display the text. When we wanted to display the text, we will say here, we will drag it and put it here. This is the home screen. If you wanted to edit the home screen, so let me put the label in English instead of home screen. Welcome. No. Okay, that's done. Now this is giving invalid because we have to provide the API name. Any component which you are dragging it from here to the on the screen, we always give API name to the component. So let's say here welcome message. API name always specify without space. If you have a space, then it does not allow, it will give an error. For example, if you are giving like this, so it is going to throw an error saying that it does not ask. Either you have to add underscore or without a space you have to add. So API name has to be always in a single word. Now input resource, let's say here, welcome user. Okay. Now probably I'll put this as a center, and let's say I'll increase this to the probably 20, and I'll make it bold. Okay. So in case if you want this done, now let's say this debug. Now this is every time when we click on a debug, it shows this. So let's click on run. Now, perfect. It is displaying the home screen and welcome user displaying the cut. Okay, this is fine. No error so far. There is no error. Now let me go ahead and update more here. Now, in case if we wanted to, this is just a welcome. This is just a welcome screen, right? So now what I'll do is let me activate it. Let me activate. This is the activating version 1, home screen version 1. Now let me go ahead and edit this home page. Edit the page. So what we wanted to add? We wanted to add the flow. Let it load. Just give the 2 seconds. Okay, so let me go ahead and add the flow. So whenever we add the flow, it is going to ask, this is only like a generic component. Inside this component, I have to add here flow is, I have to give the what is my flow name. My flow name is home screen, right? Layout. If you want 1 column, 2 column, up to you. Now let's go ahead and save. Activate. Activation is going on. Assign as a all default. Let's go ahead and put this. Save. Perfect. Let me go back. Okay. Home screen, welcome user, right? Home screen, welcome user. Now, in case if I do not want header, I do not want a header. So what I'll do, I'll take out the edit, do not show the header, do not show the header. I'll simply take out, click on done. Now I made a changes on top of version 1. I made a changes on top of version 1. Version 1 is already saved and it is activated, right? After the activation, I did change onto the version 1. I did change onto the version 1. After activation, whenever we are making any changes to the flow, you have to click on save as. Save does not work. Save as. That means you have to create either a new version of the same flow or you have to create a new flow. It's up to the developer's choice which one we should go with. Ideally, in real-time scenario, we go with the new version. New version is nothing but right now, the old version is V1. And whenever I click on it, save, it is going to create a V2 for me. Because there are some changes which are applied on top of V1, I wanted to save the new version. So what will happen? My older version will be there as well as the new version will be there. So I'll not lose any I'll not lose any changes of the previous version. Now this show advanced is, it is up to you how to run the flow. These all by default it will come. We never touch in the real time this advanced one. But in case if you wanted more information, this is about running the flow. By default, the flow is launched, determines whether the flow runs in the context of the user or the system. So basically, this is user mode or system context with sharing, without sharing. I think I have already explained to you, right? These all information. So when I click on this version, the new version gets created. See here, version 2 got created and version 2 inactive. Inactive. Previous version is active. Right now the version 2 is inactive. Now, before I activate, let me go ahead and see some more information. Double click on screen flow, welcome user. Now, instead of just saying the welcome user, as soon as I go here, if somebody sees their name, then they feel much better, like welcome. Like if I say welcome Puneet or welcome Amala or welcome Harshini, if I specify the name, that feels more good. Yes? Any questions?
No.
Okay. So that feels more good. So instead of giving the just a user, what we will do is we will go ahead and use the global or universal tables. What is the universal table that we have here? Universal table is $user. User is a universal table. Dollars represent where we are. It is referring to the global variable or universal. Whenever we are referring the universal table, we have to use the dollar. User dot, let's go ahead and use the first name, right? And also let's give a space. And let's say user dot last name. Perfect. So right now I have user dot first name and user dot last name, which is going to print whoever is logged in. It is automatically take their first name and the last name. Done. Now let's click on save. Now also I'll give another information. Let's say have a great day ahead. So this bottom one, I do not want to display in the bold. So what I'll do is I'll change this to some different text. And probably this will be starting from here. And let me change the color in blue or something. Okay. Okay, so and also I'll change this text. You can do whatever the changes we want. It's not good. So let's keep it this way. Have a great day ahead. And let me reduce this to 18. Perfect. Now let me go ahead and finish this. Done. Now let's say, let me debug first. Now same default message will come. Click on run. Perfect. It is showing me the welcome T1, have a great day. Finish. Okay, now let me activate this. So when I activate it, what will happen is my version will inactivate automatically. My version 1 will inactivate automatically. Home screen. Okay. Let me switch to the classic, then you will see. View details and versions. Okay. So home screen has two versions. Version 1 is inactivated and version 2 activated. Version 2 is activated. Status is active and inactive. These two are screen flow. Type is screen flow. Okay. How many active versions we have? 2 active versions we have. So these all information.
What is the limit on number of versions? Is there any limit?
If I remember correctly, max of max 50 or 60, up to 60 you can create it. But as soon as you reach to 40, please delete the old versions because you
Okay.
reached 1 to 40, right? That means till 40 you are keep on debugging, keep on adding it. So after 40, if you're still going to create a one more version, delete the old versions 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, delete the old versions. There is no point of keeping the 1 to 10 versions when you have a 40 versions into that.
Yeah, okay.
So now as soon as it is activated, now let me go ahead and check, refresh this page. Here it is displayed. Welcome T1, have a great day ahead. I do not need a footer. I do not need a finish button, right? So what I can do is I can change this flow and I click on this. Let's take off the footer, done. Now one more thing is that right now we have a message here hard coded. Have a great day message. But in case if we want this as a dynamic message, what we can do is we can create a custom label. We can create a custom label. Custom label is nothing but a static label. Create a custom label. Click on new custom label. Have you done till now custom label? Have you completed the custom label?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So custom label is a kind of a static message or static text or kind of a error message where we can refer this custom label into Apex classes, Visual Force pages, Lightning component flows, wherever we wanted to display a static message or error message, standard message. For example, you wanted to store a record type ID or 18-digit ID. You can store it in the custom label instead of hard coding into the Apex or instead of hard coding into the flows or Lightning builder. Wherever you are hard coding inside the code, take out that hard code and keep it here custom label. So that what will happen is admin can change that whenever it is needed. No need to make changes to the Apex, no need to make changes to the flows or Lightning component in case you wanted to change the standard text. and we can create up to 5,000 custom labels. Can create up to 5,000 custom labels, and each label can have up to 1,000 characters. So let's go ahead and create one. Now it shows the short description, language, name. This short description is what kind of information that is going to store in this custom label. This is a welcome message. This is welcome message. So as soon as we give a short description, it will automatically take the name. Protected component. Yes, we always say protected component in real time. Categories, use this field entry, any comma separated values of you are choosing it. Text entered in this field can be used in filter criteria when creating a custom label list view. It's kind of in case if you are pick list or list view, if you are doing it, then we have to mention the categories with the comma separated. But for now, we are going to have just a message saying that have a great day and make it great day. Okay, let's click on save. As soon as I created this, now it is created with the, so now my custom label is ready, right? Now I can use this custom label inside the flow. Let me open the flow builder. Which one? The second version 2 is active. So version 2 is active. Now I'll double click on this and let me go ahead and I'll change the footer. And here instead of a text, I wanted to place a custom label. So just think on that. How can I apply custom label instead of a hard-coded text? How can I do that? What is the custom label table? What is the custom label table?
A dollar label.
Yes, custom label is universal table.
Yeah.
So how can we use it? We can use dollar label. And then we can see welcome message. Right? It is replacing with the label dot welcome message. So dollar label is a universal table dot welcome message. Done. Now let's save as. Save. Now version 3 gets created. It's saying something. There is a issue. Do not prevent activation, but can cause the problem. The welcome screen is missing navigation. Restore the footer or add the screen component that includes the navigation option. Okay. So it is asking us to include the so let's say it is asking us to put the footer because that is required for the navigation. So now we created a version 3. Now activate it. Done. Now let me go ahead and refresh. Right now it is displaying from the custom label. Now if I change anything, good evening, let's say good morning. Let's refresh. Now admin can play with this, right? Whatever the text they want, they can add it. Whatever the dynamically, we can display the message. Admin need not to touch the flow. Admin need not to touch the flow. Now, next thing is that if I wanted to display an image, so let's go ahead and search the image, display image. So let's say here we add, or bottom we add the display image. Let's keep the image name image1. Now here, in order to add my image, so what are the images are available in static resource? So before I upload an image, before I start creating an image, the first thing is that we have to upload an image into the static resource. We have to upload an image into static resource. So for example, right now we have a DF. Let's go ahead and preview it. So this is the image. Right, so this is the image which we have. Now I wanted to refer this image inside the lightning flows. Inside the lightning flows, I wanted to refer the image. How can we do it? Just think on it. How to, if I wanted to get this image into the lightning flows, how can I get it?
Using the dollar resource universal table.
Using the dollar resource, because you think resource is a universal table. So we have to.
Yeah.
Okay. But here the flow has given some other flexibility. Instead of giving the dollar, I can directly pass the name, because image name is nothing but what it is saying is it is required. After you upload the image into the static resource, enter the name of the static resource. But lightning flows does not, I mean, it came up with a more further. Instead of using the dollar, I can just use the DF. I can just use the DF. So that is the name of my image. Which is going to load the image. I need not to give dollar resource dot name. I need not to give that. Simply, I can give the image name as a DF. And if you want any alignment or text, height, width, let's give, for example, 400. 400 is more. 200. Okay, 200 should be fine. Okay, so I can adjust the height and width. Okay, done. Now let's save as. Right now it is going to create a version 4. Now let's go ahead and debug. Run. Perfect. So it is displaying good morning, have a great day and make it day. And there is no issue that I did not see it. So did I activate it? I did not. So let's go ahead and activate. Now refresh the page. Right. So welcome T1. Good morning, have a great day and make it great day. And that's the image. Right. So like this, you can build a screen flow. In the screen flow, we have a different options. We have a different options, like we have text. If you want URL, you can put the URL directly. Or if you want a password, phone number, pick list, multi-select pick list, lookup, right? We can build any kind of a screen. So we'll see more screen flow tomorrow. So is this clear for everybody? How to use the image and how to use the text, at least how to start the screen flow and how many versions can we create it and how to activate it, debug, everything. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So today what we did, welcome message we implemented. Implemented welcome message on service app. For this, what we did,
We created a custom label and it as a dynamic message.
So
And we
so first thing is that we drag the screen flow on page. On page. And then we gave a name to screen flow. Gave a name to screen flow. And then removed header. Removed header and removed header. Then added the display text. Added the display text. Inside the display text, added the custom label. How did we add the custom label? How did we add the custom label?
a curly braces, exclamation mark, dollar label,
Dollar label,
label dot the label name.
Label name. Right. So that is the dynamic message. But for what we used? For displaying the dynamic message. Display the dynamic message. Then we added the image from static resource. From static resource. How did we added the image in the Lightning flow?
We just gave the name of the image.
Provided the static resource name, image name. And then we adjusted the height and width. Height and width. Click on save and activated the flow. Activated the flow. Right? Assignment. Anybody has any questions on this screen flow? Assignment. Implement lightning flow. Implement a lightning flow to display a welcome message on lead object along with image. Implement lightning flow to display what is the current release that is going on. What is the current
Summer
release?
22. Summer 22.
To display the image of summer 22 on home page of sales app. Implement lightning flow to display a dynamic message on account page. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Akhil, are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, fine. So for today, this is what. Tomorrow we'll see one more screen flow, then we will move on to the another flow.
Okay.
So tomorrow we'll see another screen flow, which is for the creating a record. Then we will move on to the auto launch flow. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay then. Yeah. Thank you all. Bye bye.